Hello. So this is just going to be a quick mini guide I've thrown together for nuke utility that I view as not only essential but also easy to remember. I've scoured a lot of other guides and filtered it down. Of course, most of this will be for T side, though there is some good stuff to know for CT side that I've thrown in towards the end. Many of these are jump throw smokes, so as a disclaimer, this is for 128 tick servers. Some might work for 64 tick by chance, but I can't vouch for that. Timestamps and my jump throw bind will be in the description for you to use. So let's go to the first smoke. Okay, so for these first few smokes, we're going to be focusing on outside as a T. So the one that I personally view as most valuable, and everyone should know how to do this, is to smoke off garage. It's usually where the biggest annoyance comes in when pushing outside. They usually have an opper there. So you're going to want to line yourself up with this pole right here in T-spawn and just aim to the right of this gray thing, just a bit to the right, on top of Marshmallow, and jump throw. And as you will see, it'll land right in the middle, right in the center, with no gap on either side, just the way we want it. So these next couple of smokes are actually meant to be thrown simultaneously from T-spawn. This is going to smoke this wide gap outside for when your team wants to run outside and rush right into secret without being peppered by the CTs who are all staring at this large gap. So, because you need two smokes, first guy is going to line up in the back of this truck here, the back left of this truck. Going to aim at the bottom left of this windowsill right here, and then he's just going to jump throw. Other guy is going to go into the O in no parking, aim at the gray thing here on top of Marshmallow, and jump throw as well. Both smokes will land. There's no gap on the right, no gap in the middle, no gap on the left. The CTs cannot see anything, and even this Heaven guy can't really see much of what's going on here. So there you go. That's how you rush secret. So this next smoke for outside is going to be a shallow mini smoke. So it's going to land right here, and it's going to prevent the CT that's playing inside mini to help his team out as you guys are pushing outside and taking over the place. So what you're going to want to do is walk up to this white wall right here, right in the middle of it. Then you're just going to aim at this blue thing on this box here. Look up right here to this topmost electrical wire and run up to the box and left click right before you hit the wall. The momentum will carry the grenade, bounce it off the wall, and it will land perfectly inside of mini. Now, you don't want the smoke to land here, just because CTs could take advantage of this and play around the smoke, like so. Makes it harder for your team to deal with this guy. So it's better that it lands right inside here, so they can't really push out secretly. Next smoke is going to be for this gap right here between CT red and this wall. So if you have a CT that likes to play behind this box a lot, or play at these windows here down in hell, or up, in the back area of CT, this will smoke them all off. So to throw this, once again, you line up with this wall. It's the same place as the last smoke. You look at this, the right corner of this vent thing, and then you just aim down a little bit and jump throw. As you can see, it will bounce against the wall onto the top of CT red and land right in the middle. There's no gap on the right, no gap on the left, and that's what we want. Okay, next smoke is going to be for when you don't want to go secret, but you want to smoke off the CT that could be playing right here and preying on unsuspecting Ts. So to throw this smoke, once again you're going to want to line up with this pole here in T-spawn. Aim at Marshmallow at this white pole right here, the top of it, and you just jump throw. And as you'll see, bounces, lands right on the staircase. CT cannot see anything. So there you go. Now your team can focus on the rest of this stuff. Another smoke for outside is for heaven. So to toss a smoke up into heaven, you're going to want to go right up into this corner, right outside T-spawn, crouch down, and look up at the right corner of this vent thing, and jump throw. As you'll see, the grenade will travel, bounce on the roof, and then lose momentum here on the wall, and land right on the catwalk. So the CT can't see shit, unless he wants to reposition down here. So keep that in mind. They can still peek you like this. There you go, that's how you smoke off heaven. So the last smoke for outside is going to be for hell right here. These two windows that CTs love to play. Now it's a bit more niche than the other positions, but nonetheless still a good position to smoke off. So if what you're going to want to do is just get up into this corner right here, between this railing and the wall. Aim up at this silver pipe, right at this black line you see here. Aim right at the middle, and then just adjust a bit to the right, like so. Now all you're going to do is run forward and jump throw, right before your crosshair crosses this line. As you can see, it pops right in front of the windows, bounces off the wall, and rolls right where it needs to be. So that's it for the outside smokes. Next is going to be some A-site stuff. A-site smokes. This is not a smoke for A-site, for pushing into A-site, but it lands in A-site, so I'm putting it here. The smoke lands right about here. As you can imagine from that position, that is for when your team wants to rush through Squeaky and go down into vents here, to get a nice quick B bomb plant without being killed from heaven, or hut, or garage, or mini. It's just nice and easy. You toss it from T-spawn, it lands right here. There's no, like, you know, coming up to the door here, then tossing it here. Sometimes, you know, they toss it completely wrong, or there's a gap on the right, or something like that. This alleviates all those problems by just being able to toss it like this. So in T-spawn, you want to jump on top of this yellow box, aim between these two windows here, line yourself up right there. Oh, and I forgot. There's a window right here. It goes through this window right here. So just make sure that window is shot out. Line yourself up again. And aim your crosshair right here. The bottom part of this third gray cube right here. And jump throw. As you can see, goes right down, bounces a few times, lands right where it needs to. And you as a T, you still got to worry about this guy up here. But otherwise, you can see in front of you. A lot of smokes like just land right here, and you can't see shit. And so your team is like, ah, where am I? Where am I? Oh, this is the vent. Okay, let's do this. So I go inside. Oh no, I overshot it. And suddenly you're dead from this guy, or heaven. So I like it landing back here, because you can see where you're going, and the CTs can't see you, except for this guy. So there you go. There's that smoke. So on T side, there is another A-site smoke that's not quite something you would throw at the start of the round. It's a little bit more situational, but nonetheless very useful. If, let's say, you go outside, you go down into secret, but instead of planting B, you want to come back up to A and plant on A just to fake out, you know, the CTs. But problem with, you know, coming up through vents is, well, hopefully this grate is broken, but you come out and, you know, you got like 5 different directions people can see you from. This corner, this place, heaven, hut. There's a lot. So what I like to do is, again, hopefully this grate is broken, but I will just quickly peek my head there just to tell me if there's somebody, you know, looking down from hut down here into vent. So I'm not just sitting here like this trying to toss a smoke and I get a headshot. So as soon as I confirm that there's no one up there, I'll go like this. This is going to be a smoke for mini. I'm going to aim up at the top of this girder thing right here, and I'm just going to left click, and right before that pops, I'm just going to toss this flash and get out backwards. As you can see, that flash, it's going to get this guy that's up in heaven, it's going to get this guy in this corner, this guy in this corner, although he'll just spray you down, I guess, if he sees that you're tossing nades from vent. But anyways, it's smoked off mini. That was like the huge thing. So it allows you to just kind of focus on the site and not worry about your right, where, you know, a lot of times when you're exiting vents, it's always like a guy that's like, ah, he's coming out of vent. Spray him down. Besides Heaven. Heaven is the other nuisance when you're coming out of vents. But yeah, there you go. That's how I like to push onto A for faking when I go down secret. Now, an actual A site smoke. A smoke for pushing A site. This is actually really the only one, because I don't really see another reason for any other smoke. But here you go. So what you're going to want to do, this is for mini right here, but it's not going to land here this time. It's actually going to go deeper. It's going to land right in this area so that you can push out onto A site. And, you know, you don't need to worry about your right side. All you got to do is just look here. Look all around here. None of this. So, to throw this smoke, you're going to line yourself up with the middle of our familiar white wall here that we've used for 2 other smokes now. And you're just going to want to aim at this blue thing and not move up. This is all you're going to do. You're just going to do this. You're going to run forward, and then you're going to jump throw. Like so. Now look at that. Lands nice and deep. CTs can't really see a thing through this smoke from mini. And there you go. Now you don't need to worry about mini people pushing onto your A site. So, I said before, I don't really see a point in worrying about smoking anything else off on A, but that's because there is another problematic location, but I wouldn't smoke it off. That is right here on top of hut. You can tell by the char marks what I want to do to this thing. Anyone sitting up here, I don't want them up here. I want them off. You can smoke it, sure, but they'll just hide inside of it. And we don't want that. So, to molly it off, you're going to head up here onto T roof. You're going to jump on top of this thing. Make sure this window, because we're going to be throwing it through this window, make sure it's shot out, just like the other grenade. And you're just going to line your crosshair up with this T thing, this T shape on top of this thing, and aim at the middle of the window, and you're just going to kind of run forward and throw it. As you can see, lands perfectly on hut. Nobody's going to be staying up there. They're going to be forced to jump down. Suddenly, your team can focus on these angles. You don't need to swivel your head around to look up here or anything. You can just focus in a general front-facing area. So there you go. That's how you molly hut. And from the exact same spot that we were at for the Molotov, we can just line this up. And you just, with a flashbang, you just run forward a little bit and let go with the left mouse click. Flashbang out. As you can see, it's gonna flash this guy up in heaven. It's gonna flash this guy standing in this corner. It's gonna flash this guy standing right here. It's not gonna flash the person if they happen to be hiding here or behind the 2 silos, but that is significantly less places that you need to worry about because of that one flashbang as your team is rushing in. So use that. So ramp rushing. Your team wants to push ramp, but there is a scary opper watching from this cube back here. And you want to figure out the best way to go about pushing him, besides just simply bum rushing in numbers. Well, there is one smoke you can utilize for this. First off, you're gonna have to cross over to this side of the room. So I recommend just jumping across like this. Much less likely you're gonna be shot by him. And now that you're here, make sure you press yourself up into this corner with the chair and stare at this brown, the furthest left brown square right here. And now just aim in the center and run throw. As you can see, smoke lands right in the middle of this gap, And it gives you and your team time to check these surroundings. So check this corner, see if there's maybe a guy boosted up here. Maybe there's a guy, you know, jumping up onto this crate to try and see over the smoke. Somebody else from your team can, you know, just smoke off hell or whatever. And you guys can focus on, obviously, the rifler or opper who is playing behind this cube. But definitely repositioned after that smoke was thrown. So, yeah. There you go. That's really all you gotta know for pushing ramp. And lastly, for T-side, this isn't really a smoke or utility or anything, but this is just if you want to quickly get down onto the ground without taking damage. You can actually slide a little bit. You can surf a little bit on this thing right here. It's sort of an angled ramp. Even though it doesn't look like it, it does have an angle to it. So if you land correctly... See that? See how I was able to land without taking any damage whatsoever. Because normally, this fall, that's a lot of damage. You don't want to eat that. So, it is a nice quick way to get down onto the main level without having to jump here, then jump onto mini, and then jump down, and then go down again. It's a lot less steppy of a process. So, I recommend that if you just want to be faster. Now, onto CT side, CT side. There's really only one smoke that I use for outside, and it's a slower smoke, so if you think they're going to rush outside, I don't recommend using this right away. First, use your Molotov, use your fire, don't let them get out here, and while that's burning, you put yourself into the corner here, you line up with this line right here, see where the dot is on the top. You aim your crosshair right in the middle of it, and you jump throw. It's going to hit the skybox, it's going to come right back down, and it's going to smoke off the left side and the right side every single time. They're going to be forced to boost up here, or, you know, peek this this gap here. Maybe they are going to have to run boost somebody over to red or something. But it's a very consistent smoke. Although slow, it works. So if you think they're going to rush, toss the molly, and then do this, and it should work out just fine. So I forgot about this one, but there is actually one that I sometimes like to use if I'm ever playing down here in secret, and I'm waiting for, you know, T's to push outside. What you can do is back up into this corner right here. And this is going to be a bit of a weird throw. You're going to right click, or left click, but also right click at the same time. So see how your character adjusts his hands there to show that they're about to throw a medium throw. You're combining the overhand and the underhand throw into something of a medium throw. Then you're just going to stare up at the sticker and the ceiling and let go. And what should happen is it arcs, bounces right here, and you have yourself a good one-way for peeking any T's that happen to be pushing outside behind red. They really can't see you. They really can't. They can, you know, pre-fire it if they think you're gonna be there, but yeah, it's a good one-way smoke to use from secret. Now, the last smoke on CT side that I use that isn't just a straight shot down a corridor is this one. This is for if the T's have a site, they're crawling all over it. Maybe you're the last CT alive and you're pushing from heaven. You're up here now. So what do? Take out your smoke. You come out here to this corner, go to this bucket, and you just underhand it. I love this because it creates a nice one-way for yourself. Suddenly, you can take the fight to these guys down here without having to worry about somebody stationed there or this guy in the corner. You can, you know, systematically take your fights and kill the people on site while using that smoke to your advantage, since for whatever reason, smokes go through walls in this game. So there you have it. That's how I would attempt to retake A from heaven with that smoke. So now that we're done with utility on CT side, there are some tips and tricks to know. So for ramp, for example, remember that you can boost up here. This is huge. You you know, just get someone to crouch right here, the other guy jumps on top of your head, and as you notice, when you walk right here, there's a dip. Your character catches on this lip, and suddenly you're up here, your guy can, you know, reposition himself wherever, and you have this incredible off angle to take T's by surprise, because a lot of the time they're not looking up here. They're looking maybe in this corner for this guy, but they don't usually expect a boost like this. So, yeah, utilize this, please. This is good. This is good. More CT side tech, although this applies to really everything, any ladder in the game. This is for when you want to get up into heaven quickly. So a lot of people will just do this, humpty-dumpty-dumpty-dum, and it takes forever to get up to the top of the ladder when you're just holding forward. It takes a while. What I recommend, source ladders being as weird as they are, if you jump onto a ladder and look diagonally and use, let's say in this case, forward and left at the same time, look at that. That's like 1.5 times speed boost right there for using 2 different directions at the same time on a ladder. Look at that. Immediate. Almost 2 times as fast compared to this. And once again, this. Really quick. In fact, you go up so fast that your character actually like jumps up at the end. So I recommend doing that for getting up heaven quick. Now when you're coming down from heaven, although this is kind of a no-brainer, a lot of people know this, just remember that you can use this to catch your fall so you don't take the damage. Or jump down onto this thing right here. So there you go. And last but not least, in this entire little guide here, for CT side, it's just another option to watch outside with. So just remember that, you know, you don't have to just play here. You don't have to just play here. You don't have to just play here. You don't have to just play here, or here, or here, or back here, or up in heaven, or down here, behind this vent. You know, there's not enough places for CTs to play outside from, so I thought I would add another to that I don't see that often. And that's this box. All you gotta do is just grind the rail like that, get up here, and boom. Suddenly you have nice view of the cross. No one's really gonna be pre-aiming this. Not in my experience anyways. And yeah, you can get people crossing, and you know, from this side too. They're crossing here. It's excellent. Wonderful spot. I recommend using it. It's very far away too, so riflers are not gonna have that good of a day trying to take you down from all the way back there. So there we go. Thank you for watching this guide, and I'm gonna go back to playing more Counter-Strike as usual. Have a good one, everybody.